What is it called?
I haven't got a clue. Oh yeah, you sent it to me. I watched
Now and then. Now and then.
I watched about 25 seconds of it, and I couldn't bear any more of it. So I'm really underprepared for this.
Well, the song's not great. The song's really boring.
The videos,
but the video is just absolutely hideous.
But
what have they done there?
Well, it's like Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney are themselves at this age. Like, you know, they've recorded.
Ringo Starr's in a tracksuit. He wears a tracksuit for it. Yeah, like
Paul McCartney looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. He looks so
yeah.
Like, and then they're using like old footage of John Lennon and George Harrison, aren't they?
Yeah,
and then, like, you know, they've got all these like really sickly. Like, you know, they've said to like Ringo Starr, like, oh, look over there, and act like you're looking at John Lennon, even though you're looking at nothing.
The video. I'd heard the song before I'd watched the video, right. And like I listened to the song, but I thought it's quite boring. And then when I saw the video, I thought, oh God, who has passed that? Like, who has thought that is? It's like I've done it on CapCut. Yeah, it's absolutely awful. But like, I'm not quite sure how they've put it together.
Be the same way they get like a real life human acting against Sonic or something, wouldn't it? It'd be just the same as that. Like I said, just look over there.
Well, I'm talking about the song, how they've put the song.
Oh, I
together.
don't understand. Did you say like it's made with
Well,
AI?
I thought what I read earlier was
so
John Lennon wrote the song quite late.
Not pre-recorded music though.
There's a guitar laid down by George Harrison,
right?
And the song was wrote by John Lennon. But from what I saw, it was quite late on that he wrote the song. So it was almost like it was a John Lennon song. Can you find out, Joe? Well,
yeah, like the Beatles were well done when John Lennon wrote
that's
that
what
song.
I kind of read, but.
It says, Now and Then was built from a recording made by John Lennon shortly before his murder in 1980, using the same AI technology that Jackson used in his documentary Get Back to clean up the separate voices in art. That's Peter Jackson's record.
Yeah. Peter Jackson, yeah. But so it's not a Beatles song, is it?
So they've got like one track, and then AI has gone like, oh, let's add all these different.
Yeah, that's what they've done. I know what they've done, but if he wrote it then, it's not a Beatles song, is it? It's John Lennon's song.
No. It's saying AI helped separate John's voice from piano playing on a demo track.
What? Because they took the piano out.
I guess that's what AI helped to do. It's whether AI actually helped to create, wrote any song, any instruments, or created any instrumentation itself. Do you know what I mean? That's the.
And Paul McCartney put together the sort of the orchestra with what's his name, son. Oh, this is.
Whose son? John's son?
No.
Are they in the Beatles? I don't...
No. The way he produced the albums in Abbey Road. What was his name? Martin.
Something Martin.
Yeah. This is awful.
You wanted to talk about this, Tom. Come on.
Yeah, and I read it all today.
George
Martin's son, yeah. George Martin's son.
Oh, it all just seems so like contrived
with Paul McCartney,
just like playing on, like they need a fucking payday. Do you know what's the point in this? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'd get it if they were skint living in a council house.
Music doesn't. The world of music is not lacking that song, was it?
Who needs
Didn't
this
need
in
that.
their life? Like, literally.
Well, I suppose Beatles fans will love it, and there's plenty of them.
This is kind of like when you were saying like, oh, anyone could have made that video. They're like, yeah, but don't worry, there's just enough dickheads who will buy anything we put out. Don't worry about it. It can be as shit as you like. There's no need to put any effort into this at all.
Apparently, they tried to do it when they released the anthology, and they released that song "Free as a Bird" or something like that. And they were going to do do this then, but they couldn't put it together. It remained unfinished.
Well, because the technology wasn't ready.
Maybe they just couldn't. They just couldn't do it with that track. So they've done it now. But there's loads on TikTok of like, I don't know, Freddie Mercury singing "Don't Look Back in Anger."
Right.
There's loads of that on TikTok. Loads of that stuff now.
Write a new Oasis album, and even Oasis were like, yeah, pretty much that's about right.
There was a Drake
Just
track,
better.
weren't there, and everything.
There's a what?
That was one of the first big ones that everyone's talking about. The Drake AI,
Right, okay.
I think, wasn't it?
Oh,
was
right,
it Drake?
okay.
I think. Yeah.
Where do you draw the line with that, though? You know, like you need a bit of heart and soul in your music. It's like I think a lot of modern music's too clean cut for me to get in.
But I suppose we have gone through loads of different sort of like modern music has changed. There's been introduction of that and introduction of this and introduction of that all the way along, hasn't there? I suppose.
Yeah, but
so like
you know,
it's not
like,
like it's
you know,
not like
when
this is the first thing that's really changed in music, is it?
I don't know where to draw the line myself. Like you know, like do you remember when Pharrell and Robin Thicke got sued for stealing the Marvin Gaye thing? Robin Thicke in the court case had to admit that despite the fact that like his name was like the main writing credit, the song was written before he'd even got into the studio. But Pharrell's like, you know, that whole like small slice of a bigger pie is better. Pharrell's like, if people think like this is just like manufactured music and you haven't taken part in writing it, no one's going to be interested anyway. So I'd rather half of it because it'll be 10 times bigger if you pretend you've wrote the track. People are like that. It's going to be hard to get into like who wrote it, who is it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Like it's just But I can imagine it getting to the point where it's so normalised that is just like I like that track and that's fine, and that is fine. But like,
and as I say, it's not the first time modern technology has moved on and been used in music, is it?
Yeah, but it's always
and
in
the past we've been a bit
a technology the humans use though. Like,
yeah, but it's just that, you know, like we sort of, and we've every time it's happened, everyone's been like, oh no, you can't do this.
Auto tune's probably the best example.
Auto tune,
like, well, that fucking makes you sound good when you don't sound good.
But it's been used in other ways as well, hasn't it? Auto tune. Like it's not just used for that reason.
Like
you know
Cher.
what I mean? yeah.
Use it on drums and everything, don't they?
Yeah. So
and I suppose
I think
as long as you don't know that, like you don't think about it, but you know, like I don't know. I suppose like the industry could someone's still going to have to listen through the songs and pick the ones that they think people would like to hear, aren't they? That still would need to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how would the music get like? You're just taking away creativity from humanity and handing it to computers instead, and you'd still be judging them in the same way. It's a really weird situation.
Yeah, but I suppose I still think you'll be able to still distinguish what's what. I don't think it's going to cause major issues in music, and live music will always exist so we can always see.
People are still going to gravitate towards something that seems, especially with music, that seems more real.
Yeah,
like even I don't know.
If it produces a shitty catchy track and people love it, people that are into shit catchy tracks they don't care. But no, you're never really gonna. It's never gonna replace actual creativity because it's only going on what it's been fed into it before. So unless
what
it
do you
starts,
think Frank Zappa would think of AI?
God, I don't know. Who knows? There's loads of threads like that. What would Frank say about this? What? And it's like, fucking who cares? He's dead, man. Just listen to the music.
He wouldn't know. He wouldn't know.
Stop speculating.
Unless I think Frank Zappa will like it, I can't like it.
That's it. It's like what he'd have probably thought you were a twat.
He'd have probably thought the most ridiculous.
A twat for asking the question.
People were asking that. Yeah. That's what I think.
Like, why do you care? It's like,
so I presume this song's going to go to number one.
Nah. Do you reckon?
I would presume
I think
so.
definitely. The charts are fucking bizarre nowadays. It would have back in the day. Like, no doubt, hands down. But
see, I'd wondered if they'd tried, if the attempt was to release it so it got to Christmas number one. But
you know, I think because the streaming charts are so big now, they're such a big part of the charts. Like, I think, like, you know, we're talking about the Beatles.
But I've looked
fans.
it up.
They're still just going to
I've
listen to that once and be like, I don't need to or want to hear that again.
No, I think it will get to number one.
Could
But,
do. I'm not ruling it out,
I
but
would actually say that doesn't really mean anything, though, does it?
Do you remember years ago? Didn't they like release, posthumously at least from John Lennon? I'm not sure Harrison was dead at the time, and they released like an old song, and that got to number one, didn't it? In the 90s, was it?
The Beatles reworking a Beatles song.
Like they just released like some old song that had never found the light of day before, or something.
Yeah,
It
it
got
was.
to number one.
Was it called Free as a Bird?
Might
Is
have
that the
been.
one I'm on about?
Yeah, it's
Well,
free as a bird.
Yeah.
I was there when they filmed the music video for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they did it on Penny Lane, didn't they?
Yeah,
So, like,
but they did that. But they did
walking
with that
past.
song. They kind of did what they've done with this song, but
Didn't they just like dig that out and go? Like,
no, they
let's
still had
release
to.
that?
They still had to completely like
Do
sort
you remember
of
that? You know
rework
you're
it,
right
yeah.
by Nirvana. Did they have to do anything with that, or was that just done?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
You know that you know you're right by Nirvana.
I've never heard it.
You never. You know you're right. You don't know that?
No,
Do you know that?
no.
Yeah, it's like one they were like, oh, here's a Nirvana song you never heard before. You don't remember that?
No,
You
I've
know-
heard
you
stuff
know
like
you're
that.
right.
Like Nirvana, particularly.
Neither do.
Yeah,
Still.
but I like. I mean, but
What
like,
shall we move the conversation on to? Do we want shit from dead people, or like, are we good? Because I don't need it.
Yeah,
You need
that
these
is true.
songs.
Stop releasing dead people's.
Stop
Unless
releasing
there's
dead people's shit. Joe, here's another
the
good
thing
question.
is, I was curious enough to want to hear the song.
yeah.
So, I have been interested in this being released, and I wanted to hear the song. So I suppose, like, not that I'm that much of a Beatles fan, and like I wasn't like excited by it, but I was like, oh, I've got to hear that.
You know
I've got to
what
hear
I
what
would
that's
say?
like.
I would
yeah,
say if
yeah.
you
So
had
I would
any-
always be intrigued by that.
But wouldn't you be more intrigued by, like what Joe was saying, where we read out that they had to set, there was a demo of John Lennon singing and playing the piano, and they just took the piano off. Wouldn't you have just rather hear the original recording? You need them to like pretend the rest of the songs there and release that. Wouldn't you have just been?
I probably
maybe
wouldn't have been
even-
as interested.
if they'd have just.
Yeah, true. It's more. There's a gimmick
wouldn't-
value
it's-
to this.
yeah,
I think.
I wouldn't have been as
Novelty.
interested at all. Like, I wouldn't have been interested.
I see exactly what you're doing there.
I wouldn't have been as interested. And I suppose
I think, like, fair enough if you're interested. Like, I could understand if they just, like, dumped everything that had ever been recorded and gone, there you go, work your way through it. But I just don't get the whole... You're dead right. Like,
But they're doing
gimmick
it
is
with-
exactly what it is. It's like, but why?
They're doing it with Prince. They're releasing all the stuff. He's obviously got just
Yeah, they have bucket loads.
trillions of
stuff, wouldn't
fucking
he, like-
Studios.
They did loads with Jeff Buckley,
Jeff Buckley's,
and they did
but
loads
Jeff
of
Buckley's,
that.
Like, mom though is convinced, like he'd be devastated to know
Yeah,
that stuff
yeah.
had found the light of
Well,
day.
Prince probably would
'Cause he
be.
wasn't
Oh,
what he
really?
wa- Well, her
It's not
version
his
is he didn't
perfect
release it. He wasn't. He hasn't approved that to go out. That's his art.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
sometimes. You know, when we were in the band, we'd write songs, and after a bit, you'd go like, you know what, nah,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to play that anymore. We're definitely like not going to record it on our EP.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, like people don't necessarily want that shit to go out. So, you know, where's the consideration for them as artists? Like not pre-approving that for the light of day anyway.
I sing loads of melodies into my voice memo thing on my
Oh, do
phone.
you?
Yeah, and I'm convinced when I die, like that's going to come out in like. It's going to become massive. I'm going to be like some big.
Going to be like a
Some guy-
how like, this guy like
futuristic
this
Nick
guy
Drake.
died. I mean,
They'll
He's
put
like-
it into AI.
He's like Nick Drake, this guy.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Or what was the other guy?
Must have been really depressed.
What was the? Yeah, what was
What
that?
was the other
tortured
guy who died
soul.
before he got famous?
It wasn't-
Vanguard.
No, and then this guy didn't die. What's that? Searching for Sugar Man
Yeah,
documentary.
yeah,
Him where he became like
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Yeah.
He became a superstar in South Africa.
Yeah, but I think basically the Beatles song
He's shit.
is really boring. It's really boring.
It's really
yeah.
boring. Like I
Yeah.
say, I don't need that shit. I mean, you know, Joe, you went to see Frank Zappa hologram tour, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they had the premium lineup. If you could have like sort of handpicked the
That-
band, that was them.
Yeah.
wasn't
They
it?
had a great lineup.
They had a super, and I think that But if you were to say like the Amy Winehouse one, where like the band are not associated with her at all, do you want to go and
the
see
other thing
that?
is with the I think the Zappa thing, it was gimmicky. I enjoyed it, but I don't think many Zappa there's a lot of people that wouldn't. But they had the stuff that the hologram that Zappa was playing. It was original stuff that had never been heard before. So original solos, original things, and it was gimmicky. But you can't ignore the fact also there's a band of some of the...
No, that's what I'm saying. The pedigree of his
was
band,
a bit different.
It works in a different
but
way.
I can kind of be like, if someone said that was shit, I'd be like, yeah, I can kind of see why you're saying that. But I liked it. And
But
that's
what I'm asking is there any value in going and seeing like the Amy Winehouse one where like there's none of the band are associated with Amy Winehouse and you're just watching like session musicians playing the music and then a hologram and a pre-recorded track? Like, is that worth going to? Like,
yeah, I'd probably go to that.
Just because it's Amy Winehouse, or like,
yeah,
would you do it with like a band who were alive but like busy? No, like,
well,
like,
no,
we've got our real tour, but there's a hologram tour going on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, isn't it?
but like cheaper.
Why is it worth it if they're dead, but it's not valid if they're still alive? Like, because if it's worth it,
I mean, you can't really like attach like her musicians necessarily to her anyway, can you? Because she did change her musicians all the way through it, sort of.
Yeah, well,
like,
so did Zappa. But what I'm saying is there was still some added.
I think it just depends whether you're a fan of the artist, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I think some people would still be like, I do like them. I'm not going to watch a hologram version of them though. That's
yeah, but I think, but I still think thousands would.
Yeah, of course, that's
There'd be
exactly
enough,
the point. There'd be enough
for
lots of people would be like, yeah, I'm going to that.
But it's also something you can only really do once.
A hologram.
The hologram show. You can't really. No, they can do the tour and then that's it, isn't it? You can't really do that again and again and
I
again.
don't know. So the fucking promoter will try.
If
Taylor Swift died next week, that would run.
Well,
forever.
she's
I'd have an LA residency.
She's doing
forever.
You can go and
Las
watch
Vegas
a
residency.
tour at the cinema, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
It's number one in the
I would love to point out that I've been calling Taylor Swift a cult for so long, and now the internet has now joined in. And after that, did you see all the people from the cinemas working at the cinemas at that?
No.
They're all stood in a fucking circle
in
at the
this
front.
country?
Yeah, everywhere, all over the world. They're stood in circles, fucking holding hands with each other, like spinning around dancing. Like, and all the people who are working in the cinemas are like, what the fuck is this weird shit? These people are crazy.
I just think she's massively popular.
She's a billionaire now. Now, no one's a billionaire who's not a cunt ripping people off.
I just think she's massively popular, though.
Do you know any Swifties? We could get some on.
I know you don't like her, but like...
No, she's massively popular. You're very odd in liking Taylor Swift and not being obsessed with her and listening to 99% of Taylor Swift. She seems to have got... Most of her fans seem to be so obsessed with her.
My daughter's mad on her.
Yeah,
absolutely mad on her.
Most people... You're probably the only person I've come across who's like, yeah, Taylor Swift, quite like her. Like, like the only other people I know who like her at all, like, it's all they want to talk about. It's weird.
But she's not Michael Jackson big, but she's a
billionaire now.
At the time now, the equivalent of how big she is. No one will be like Michael Jackson big. That was just a bizarre. But like she is that big. I don't think it's a cult. I just think she's really, really popular.
I thoroughly disagree.
What do you think she's going to be commanding people to do weird things? She doesn't do that, does she?
It's not about that. It's about like, I mean,
do you know what I mean? Like Trump's a cult, isn't Trump's got a cult following, and he fucking uses it, doesn't he, to his advantage?
She uses it to her advantage.
Well, it's just to sell records.
Yeah, it's just to
sell records, but he tells them to fucking do crazy shit.
She's like evil. I'm just saying. Like, trust me. That she tells them to do some pretty crazy shit.
I think she does. I think she does. I just think she
wants them to just be obsessed with every last thing.
I think she's fun. I think there's a bit of fun in it.
Well, if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The thing is though, people in cults, they'll tell you they love it as well. When you're not in it and you're looking at them, you're like, this isn't healthy for you. And like they're like, what are you on about? I've never been fucking happier in my life. But when you're not in it, you're like, that looks weird. But I won't deny happiness is happiness, and if you feel happy, then I suppose good for you, whatever.